my.
In Imperial Year 1181, the new Adrestian Emperor, Edelgard von Hresvelg, led a strategic assault against the monastery at Garreg-Mach. Though her own losses were great, her foes had no choice but to surrender. Archbishop Rhea commanded the Knights of Seiros, leading from the front lines against the Imperial army. After a hard-fought battle, she was forced to retreat to Ferdiad, the capital of Fargus, where she must now plan her next move. With this single attack, the Adrestian Empire officially launched its offensive against the Holy Kingdom of Fargus and the Leicester Alliance. The unification of Fodlan has begun. Part 2. Crimson Flower. Ethereal Moon. Beyond Escape. It is Imperial Year 1185. Half a decade has passed since Emperor Edelgard ascended the Imperial throne, yet the continent of Fodlan still remains lost in a tempest of turmoil and bloodshed. In the Holy Kingdom of Fargus, King Dimitri has welcomed Archbishop Rhea and her knights, who were driven out of Garreg-Mach to the kingdom capital. As they work to build a unified front, the war with the Empire rages on to the west. Meanwhile, Claude, leader of the Alliance, staves off Imperial intervention by strategically stirring up conflicts between Leicester lords in an effort to feign neutrality. As events unfold, Edelgard and her Black Eagle strike force begin to take action in an attempt to break the war's current state of deadlock.
You. How long do you intend to sleep? Your body is awake. Your eyes must open now, and you must find the strength to stand upon those legs of yours. Like so much rain, a pool of blood has fallen to the ground. As spears and arrows pierce the earth, it weeps. And even now, it weeps. In order to survive, they kill. And so the people of this world are lost in an abyss of suffering. They weep as well. The only one who truly knows the nature of such things is I. Or rather, you. You are a complete and utter fool! Have you not changed one bit? Get on your feet. Right now! I'll coddle you no more! You are just like a child, always needing me to hold your hand.
Hey, are you awake? We're in a village at the base of the monastery. What are you doing in a place like this? I honestly didn't expect to find someone floating away down the river.
Garreg-Mach is upstream of here, but that place was abandoned.
Huh? You don't know? The Church of Seiros isn't there anymore. Though, there have been some folks still living there in the 5 years since... well, you know. Regardless, the Imperial Army has taken over now. Are you feeling alright? You didn't hit your head or anything, did you? It's the ethereal moon of the year 1185. It's been nearly 5 years since the monastery fell. Tomorrow was supposed to be the Millennium Festival, but who's got time to think about things like that? Yeah, that's what I said. But with the war and the Archbishop still missing it all, I doubt there's a soul to be found who has enough blessings worth counting. Hey, slow down, will ya? Where do you think you're going? Are you crazy? The Imperial Army is there. Come on, I promise I won't say you're a coward. Just forget about going anywhere near the monastery. You just remember I tried to stop you. Got it? It's not on my conscience if you wind up dead. Unbelievable.
"5 years ago to the day. If things had continued on as they were, today would have been the Millennium Festival." Halt! Who's there? It can't be. Professor? Is it really you? But I searched everywhere and never found a trace. My teacher. What have you been doing all this time? Where have you been? Joking? At a time like this? You do realize it's been 5 years since you disappeared. Do you have any idea how guilty I felt? How broken my heart was? I searched high and low after you vanished. Although there was no proof, I somehow knew you were alive. All this time, I led everyone as best I could, and fought with all my heart. It's been a difficult path to walk alone. Welcome back, my teacher. I'm so happy that you're safe. 5 years. Such a short time, but it feels like an eternity ago. Do you still feel the way you did all those years ago? You said then that you would fight at my side no matter how many enemies we should amass. As for me, my resolve has not faltered. I'm determined as ever to see this through to the end. I will defeat the false goddess. I will save this world from those creatures and give humanity its freedom back. So, my teacher, are you prepared to stand with me? I thank you. Truly. Now then, I assume you understand the situation at hand, yes? Another joke? Or are you telling the truth? I suppose you must be. In that case, I'll tell you all that has transpired as you slumbered these past 5 years. And that is where we are now. The war is at a stalemate. Dimitri is the new king of Fargus. It's clear that his territory will continue to support the church. Meanwhile, Claude's leadership has thrown the Alliance into chaos. He maintains neutrality in their internal conflict. The situation has created a deadlock. We've been awaiting an opportunity for our squadron to return to the monastery. With you in the fray, I believe the state of the war will shift immediately. The church, as well as the kingdom and the Alliance. The time has come to eliminate them all. Rhea, Sedith, the Knights, and the others are in prime condition. They've set up their base within the kingdom capital. The Immaculate One and her family have yet to fight on the front lines. However, we must eventually face and defeat them. It would mean a great deal to have you with us when the time comes. Good. Well then, I believe it's time for a little reunion. The Black Eagle Strike Force never lost faith. They knew you were alive and have been awaiting your return. Let's not keep them waiting any longer.
Well now, that face is certainly familiar. I am glad to see you alive and well, Professor.
Professor! It's me, Bernie! Do you remember me? I can't believe you're here!
I can't believe it! Is this a dream? Can we really be this lucky?
This is not dreaming. Our professor is with us again. Welcome to the back. Welcome back.
Our group isn't the same without you. I am overjoyed to see you again.
It's been so long. Seeing you again fills my heart with hope.
Great, now everything will be easy. That's great you're safe, Professor. I'm deeply, deeply moved.
Quite the reunion, isn't it, Professor? Everyone's happy to see you.
Come on, Edelgard. You must be happier than all of us combined. She took it really hard when you disappeared, Professor.
Of course, we did our very best in your absence, and there was never a day that we doubted you would return to us.
Edelgard has been leading us as Emperor. But after you disappeared, it became apparent that you were her anchor. It gives me regret to be admitting this, but our power is not enough. The only one who can be meeting Edelgard's expectations is you, Professor.
Most impressive of all is your uncanny ability to bring a smile to everyone's face.
In the years since you vanished, we have not lost anyone from our ranks.
We all longed for your presence and your leadership, myself included.
It seems fitting to view this as a new beginning for the Black Eagle Strike Force. We already have our target.
Yes, we must eliminate the Alliance before moving on to fight the Kingdom and the Church. However, that doesn't necessarily mean we must occupy the entirety of the Alliance. House Riken stands against the Empire. Therefore, our target is Deirdre, the aquatic capital.
We must cross the Aramid River, which separates the Empire and the Alliance. To do that, we must take the largest bridge across it. The Great Bridge of Myrden. Myrden connects the monastery and the Imperial capital to the east. It is the shortest route there.
An Alliance stronghold has been built at the Great Bridge. We'll take that and then head north. At the same time, we must defeat the one who defends it, Judith von Daphne. If we can also take control of Daphne territory, it would be greatly beneficial to us. Prepare yourselves. The next battle will be a momentous one. Join me, my friends, as we begin our journey to bring peace and solace to this war-ravaged world.
Me. Ah, it feels good to sing nice and loud. Fill my chest up with sound.
This should be suitable.
Ah, yes. Professor, what brings you out so late? I've been worrying about something. I once asked you to help me make this the sort of world where I can simply nap my days away. Then I thought, if the world becomes a peaceful place, all my crest research might be for naught. Well, I don't see how crests have much use in times of peace. Certainly there are crests that make you stronger and could be used in engineering. And I suppose crests that increase magical abilities might help doctors heal injuries. Still, the possibilities seem limited. It's as if crests were designed to be used only in times of war. Their power meant to bring about death and destruction. I cannot prove what I say is true, but suppose for a moment that it is. The longer this war goes on, the more useful my crest research becomes. But if the war were to end today, we would go on living, perhaps not using the power of our crests at all. It is truly my dream to be a crest scholar, but I also dream of all the wonderful naps peace would bring. Saying it all out loud, it feels a rather stupid thing to worry over. Knowledge or peace, sleep or war. Thank you, Professor. I appreciate the sentiment. Although if I stop researching crests, I'll have one less excuse to spend time with you. Professor, don't make faces like that. People like you, who listen to my blathering and then nod and smile as though what I say matters. People like you are very precious to me.
Standing tall, I see.
Edelgard, hello. What do you think of this horse? An equine marvel, no? Look how intelligent he is. You can see it in his face. Certainly much smarter than your horse.
Oh, what a lovely bloom.
Behold, Edelgard. Do you see this blood-red bloom? This is much more impressive than the pale little sprigs you have there. And as I'm sure you know, redness symbolizes courage and strength.
Ferdinand, stop. I can't believe you're wasting my time with a petty one-sided rivalry.
What are you complaining about? You told me not to publish my pamphlet, and I complied.
I've had enough of your foolish antics. Very well. I will grant you the duel you so desperately desire. But when I win, you must forfeit the right to bother me with your ridiculousness. Forever. Do we have a deal?
Ah, so you'll fight me after all? Wonderful. To battle, then! All right, Edelgard. Have at me!
As you wish. Ha!
It only took you one blow? How?
I can't afford to hold back against an opponent like you. I led with my fastest, strongest strike.
Fastest and strongest? You're just flattering me. I have been defeated. Utterly. I cannot believe I was foolish enough to challenge such a plainly superior opponent.
The difference in our skill level is not so great as all that. If you had taken the first strike, you might have won. That's why I didn't give you the chance.
I do not think talent is what separates us so much as readiness. I had not the faintest idea of what to expect from a real duel. I was playing, but you were not. That such an ill-prepared noble would think to challenge you? It is laughable.
Ferdinand.
Edelgard, do you have a minute?
You want to speak with me? How unusual. Please, come in. I'll prepare some tea for us. Have a seat. Would you care for some cake?
Yes, please. I never say no to sweets.
They're from Enbar. A bit too sweet for my own liking.
Isn't that the whole point of cake? Well, more for me. These are fantastic with this tea.
True. Well, there's no shortage of them. Help yourself to as many as you like. Now then, you wish to speak with me?
So, I can tell you know a fair bit about me.
Maybe this can wait until you've finished eating?
Edelgard, you know a fair bit about me, don't you?
What in particular?
For example, the fact that I have 2 crests.
Oh, that's hard to believe.
No need to play coy with me. It won't work. It's clear my body has succumbed to the intense pressure of bearing 2 crests. Due to the immense requirements of bearing these crests, my life expectancy is painfully short. You know all of this, right?
Actually, this is the first I'm hearing of it. How would I know unless you told me?
Still won't drop the act, huh? Despite how obvious you've been with your concern about my health, you're certainly consistent. I'm not really in the mood for these games. Given your rank, You certainly have access to all kinds of information that others do not. Clearly, you'd have heard all about me.
Either way, I know now since you just told me. About your 2 crests, your physical weakness, and your short life expectancy. However, according to the principles of crest research, it's impossible to bear 2 crests. Unless you've undergone a blood reconstruction surgery. Is that the case, Lysithea?
Correct. It wasn't as though I had a say in any of this.
I see. So you've lived through that relentless terror and agony, and survived.
You speak of all of this as though you understand it on a personal level. Edelgard, have you?
You're a good friend, Lysithea, and a valuable member of this army. So I won't have you overexerting yourself. I don't want to lose you. Understand?
I understand.
Good girl. Oh, and if you like those cakes, why not take some with you for later?
There's no need to pander to me, but yes, I'll take those. Thanks.
Your Majesty, might I have a moment of your time?
Yes, of course. Unless you're not planning yet another magical exhibition, are you? Knowing you, it seems a safe bet. I can't imagine what else it could be. I already promised to help you revive House Nouvelle. If our campaign continues as it has, we'll soon prevail. There's no need to keep inventing spells.
I don't doubt that Your Majesty has things well in hand when it comes to the war. Yet why should I allow that to deter me from achieving my ultimate satisfaction? As the scion of proud House Nouvelle, I shall bring about my grand achievement before my house is restored. On that, you may rely.
You have a strong will and a strong mind. You do not consider yourself above concerted effort either. Even during wartime, you trust your own ability to fight and survive. You're ever focused on the future and on the actions necessary to realize it.
Where is this coming from? If there's an angle to be played with this praise, it eludes me.
I was only speaking the truth. I find your efforts to be admirable.
Your words are sweet. And yet...
Yes? Please, go on.
Forgive me, Your Majesty, but you promised that House Nouvelle would be restored. Yet you work toward a future with no place for the noble houses of old. Granted, in your unified Fodlan, the acting lord for each territory will come from noble stock. But in the long term, your system will replace the nobility. Our role will change significantly.
That's exactly right. There will no longer be lords who inherently rule over a particular territory. Instead, nobles will act as government officials, working for the people in exchange for a salary. Officials will be selected from the general populace as well, bringing an end to the very concept of social standing. All will rise and fall by their own merits.
And it is for those reasons that I continue my magical research. Even if nobility ceases to exist as a concept, the meritorious spellcraft displayed by House Nouvelle shall make us a household name.
I must admit, your words strike a chord. I find myself oddly moved by your proclamation.
So you see, Your Majesty, the fortunes of my house dovetail nicely with your plans. The road on which you stride courageously forward leads to my own bright future.
I too believe that the future you wish for can be found at the end of this path we're cutting.
Splendid! Oh, amid all this talk, I neglected to present my demonstration. Sit back as I, Constance von Nouvelle, display the never-duplicated Nouvelle style of spellcraft.
About that. Another time, yes? I have much to do elsewhere.
No, wait! There's no time like the present! Why, it shan't take more than an hour or two.
What is it, Hubert?
Nothing in particular. I was just recalling your impressive skill with the bow. I'm willing to bet you could put an arrow through the neck of an enemy general from quite a distance. In fact, to any leader's bodyguard, I would go so far as to say you pose the most dangerous kind of threat.
Don't worry your fragile little self. Your lady princess is safe. I wouldn't shoot my employer.
I would certainly hope not. But there are some mercenaries to whom a contract means little. And you would do well to remember that Lady Edelgard is no mere princess. You should take care to learn the proper form of address for your employer.
I said lady. I already told you, I'm not going to break the princess's contract.
What did I just say?
Proper address, right. Next time.
My patience has limits, you know. For the moment, you may stand in Lady Edelgard's good graces. But if you become a problem, I will not hesitate to eliminate you.
You're unstable, Hubert. Be careful who you threaten. I don't take kindly to those who get in the way of my contracts.
Is that a threat?
Just some advice.
This path isn't the right way either. Why do epic quests always involve a lot of legwork?
Well, Abyss is a big place. Maybe it's time to start on your next epic quest. Giving up and going home. People are dying up there after all. We don't have time for this sort of thing.
What sort of thing? You? I'd say you're way more important than the pursuit of war. More interesting, too.
Yeah, I'm the next big thing in Crestology. How flattering. You gotta stop saying things like that or someone might get the wrong idea. Lucky for you, I'm used to your weirdness by now.
I'm sorry my sincerity rubbed you the wrong way. I meant what I said, but that's fine. Now, back to your ability. I've discovered that this power can be attributed to your blood. The magic originates from your crest. There have been leaps and bounds in research on summoning magic focused on an arbitrary target. The only remaining problems are perception and distance, though it could be argued...
Blah, blah, big words, blah. I don't even get what you're saying.
You don't have to understand it to appreciate its implications. Here's the connection. Once we understand your power, it's essential that we have a theoretical grasp on how to control it.
All right, I'll do my best.
That isn't as scientific as what I had in mind.
I'll probably need your help wrapping my head around the theoretical stuff. You up for that? No pressure. Well, people might die if you say no, so some pressure, I guess.
Huh? Why me? I guess it can't be helped. I suppose foisting this task on Professor Hanneman would be a waste of my precious efforts. This isn't what I had in mind, but I guess I'm the only man for the job, come to think of it.
Sounds great. Hey, if you're tired, there's no shame in calling it a day and heading back to the surface.
It's more walking than I expected. I've lost sleep over this. But you're way more important than a... Oh, right. You don't like me when I'm sincere. Well, let's get on with the adventure then. We'll check out that hidden passage next. We've got to find that book that Timotheus is said to have left behind. Come along.
Fine. But what if we don't find the book, and you can't figure out a way to solve this?
I've come this far. Now I've got to see it through to the end. How will I ever nap in peace otherwise?
Sounds like we might be stuck together for a while.
There you are, Lysithea. I've been looking for you. So, I have a hypothesis about your crests.
I know you're the one who sent me that anonymous letter. There are things we must discuss. Ugh, it sounded like some bizarre love letter.
What? No, of course not. However, I wonder what you would have done if it was.
Now I'm just confused and grossed out.
I'm sorry, but that is not the overall topic of discussion. Do pay attention.
Pay attention to you? As though anything you say is worth listening to. It's not like you can tell me anything I don't already know.
You don't have a very positive opinion of your crests, do you? That's why you should listen to me. I've dug through all my books, and there's no record of anyone being born with 2 crests. You are, to be blunt, an impossible occurrence. For you to have a second crest, it must have been forcibly implanted after birth.
Is that your theory, then?
Yes, it is. To further the theory, if the power exists to implant a crest, then it must be possible to remove one, too. And that is the real issue at hand.
I could have one removed?
That's what Hanneman is working on understanding. I'm helping him with it.
Professor Hanneman?
Based on your reaction, it seems you want one of your crests removed. I don't think I'd give up having 2 crests if I were you.
Is that so? Even if you'd gone through horrifying experiments, endless trauma, and if you knew that all this pain meant you'd die very, very young? That's what you'd think? You're completely lacking in empathy, so of course you would make such a crass and foolish assumption.
Caspar, that equipment is new. It is suiting. It suits you.
Oh, right. Thanks.
You get more strength each day. I do not want to be falling behind.
I'm impressed with how much stronger you've gotten too. More than I have.
No, Caspar, you are impressing to me. I want to be training with you.
Just hold on, Petra.
What is wrong?
It's your attitude. How can you act so casual around me? My father killed your father. You shouldn't be able to stand the sight of me. You actually hate me, right? That's fine. I can take it. I completely understand. Just be honest. Give it to me straight. If our roles were reversed, I don't think I'd be able to forgive you. I don't understand how you could
You are not the one who did the killing, Caspar. Our parents had conflict, but we are not them. I have no worry about it. You should not either.
I don't need to worry? Impossible! I don't think I'll ever be...
You must. If not, the conflict will keep carrying on. If children cannot forgive, it will not ever have an ending. Is that what you are wanting?
Well, of course not.
Please, give it some thinking. I will be leaving now.
Why did this have to happen? Getting separated from my own troop. I'm a failure as a commander. It's already almost sunset. My wounds are aching, and I'm so hungry. Maybe I'm just gonna die right here. But no! That's such a pathetic way to die. I wonder if the rest of my soldiers are okay. I'm so worried about them.
Up and at 'em, Annette. There you go.
Caspar? What are you doing here? I was wounded in the forest, lost sight of my troop. I wandered around and it... Oh, where is everyone?
Calm down, you got nothing to worry about. They're fine. My men retrieved the rest of your unit. You're the one we've been worried about. How you feeling? Are you hurt? You've got a pretty painful-looking wound on your leg.
Oh, I'm alright. Though I might have trouble running.
If you say so. I gotta admit, I got the chills when I heard you were missing. Your soldiers told me what happened. I was only able to find you thanks to them. You've got a good troop there. You should be proud. What's wrong, Annette? Not feeling so good after all?
No, that's not it. I was just thinking about what a hopeless commander I am. It's my job to look after my soldiers, but they ended up having to look out for me. If I'm this hopeless, I shouldn't be out there at all.
What are you talking about? I don't know anyone around here who works harder than you. You put your all into your work and everyone knows it. Why do you think your soldiers are so loyal?
Caspar.
There's no way they'd do so much for you if they didn't see it in you. Come on, let's head back. I'll help you if you're having trouble walking. Your soldiers are worried about you. Go show them you're doing just fine.
Yes, you're right. Thank you, Caspar.
No problem. Just remember that it's okay to make mistakes, as long as you're learning from them.
Frigid ocean waters! I can feel them already!
Calm, calm. Just listen to me for a moment. There's something I need to tell you. The reason I worked for House Varley, Bernadetta, was to kill you.
Ha! I knew it. I always knew you were out to kill me! Sink me into the deep, dark, freezing depths!
Hold on. House Varley? But why?
As you well know, theirs is one of the 6 great noble houses, the true rulers of the Empire. And you're the heir, with a crest. There were tons of people who wanted you wiped out. Like people who want to eradicate House Varley. Or a relative who wants the glory for themselves. That particular breed of treacherous nobility is the kind that'd hire a kid to do their dirty work. The first thing that kid would do, get close to the target by befriending her. Find an in through, say, an assistant gig.
This kid you're mentioning sounds real. That was you, wasn't it?
Yours truly. My biggest mistake? Getting to know you. I crept into your room one night and readied my blade. The whole thing had been a breeze, up until that moment. I couldn't bring myself to do it. While I hovered there, hesitating, your father came in. You know the rest.
Why are you telling me all this? I'm so confused.
Because I want you to look at it objectively. I was hired to kill you. Your father protected you from me. A filthy assassin. He was looking out for you. You're lucky to have a father who cares for you enough to do that.
Father protected me? He protected me.
Yeah, why would I lie? At this point, I figure it's you who hates me, and not the other way around.
I don't hate you, Yuri. But I mean, I do feel weird. But I don't know how to feel. Can't we just be friends? Like back then?
You want to be friends? With me?
The reason you couldn't kill me was because we were friends, right?
Well...
You were my first friend. My very first friend. The first person who played with me. The first person who went on adventures with me. The first...
And you were the first friend I had to baby that much.
What do you mean? Well, even so, you were the first friend who cared for me.
The whole thing was probably a sham anyway. Though, you know, even if it was, I did have a lot of fun with you.
I knew it!
Shamir, you are training away from the ground of training.
Ah, Petra. Well, it looks like it might rain.
I have understanding. Rain training can cause unhealthiness. Can I give you a question now?
Sure.
You come from Dagda, I think. Why are you working at the monastery?
You can tell I'm from Dagda? Oh, I suppose Brigid is our neighbor. As for why I work here, that's simple. I work to live. I also have an interest in seeing what happens to your professor. I don't plan to return to Dagda anytime soon.
But Fodlan is an enemy for you, right? Are you feeling okay about that?
The only ones I've fought in person are the Imperial Army, under the command of the previous Emperor. I carry no ill will toward anyone else, including, of course, the current Emperor.
I have gratitude for your answering. You have given me understanding.
How about you? Do you hate them? The Empire is your father's enemy, no? And it's Dagda's fault that Brigid got pulled into the war at all. So, do you hate Dagda? Or do you see that as none of your concern?
The fault is not of Dagda. My father made his own choice to be joining the war. I cannot say I have no hatred for the Empire, but I do not have any for Edelgard. She gives me much help and strength. I cannot have hate for her.
Makes sense. You can hate a country without hating its people.
You speak with such honesty. It is very amazing.
I'm not that special. I just don't let emotions get in my way.
Here you are.
Oh, were you looking for me, Felix?
You were injured in the last battle. Are you okay?
I'm fine now. Thank you for your concern.
You really are troublesome.
I'm so sorry. I didn't want to get in your way out there. I just couldn't help but worry. I was only trying to keep an eye on you.
What are you even doing on the battlefield? You endangered yourself and got hurt. Such a stupid thing to do.
Yes, of course, you're right. I have no excuses.
If you intend to carry on being such a fool, you'd best stay near me.
Are you sure? I'd hate to get in your way again.
You can,
Hmm?
You can keep thinking of me as your little brother. And that'd be better than going through this again.
But I thought you didn't like that. Didn't you say you were fed up with it?
I am fed up with it. I've already spent years filling in for someone who's dead. My older brother inspired love and respect. He was a great knight. He died. Since his death, his memory has followed me around like a shadow.
Oh, I didn't know you had a brother too.
I don't let my personal feelings distract me on the battlefield. Still, do I really remind you of him?
Well, you don't look like him, but something about you feels so familiar. It just makes me want to protect you. That's not to say that you're incapable or unreliable or anything like that. In fact, it's quite the opposite. You're the one who just came to check on me.
You need to pay attention to your surroundings. You're reckless. Lives are at stake, including mine when I have to run over and save your skin.
Yes, I'll try to be more careful. Thank you for being so kind, Felix.
Whatever.
Why are you taking over my cleaning responsibilities?
You're wounded, and you're going too slowly. I couldn't stand to watch.
You're still fretting over me, are you? I'm fine now, really. It wasn't even serious.
I could have handled the situation alone. That enemy wasn't much of a threat.
Yes, we all know you could have. But I also didn't want to risk something unforeseen befalling you. I've been doing some thinking. I feel a bit lost. I don't know that I'm cut out to be a knight after all. Without fulfilling that dream, without being a knight, I've been asking myself where my place is in the world. And I think I found my answer. I don't want to lose anyone anymore. So I want to protect those I hold dear.
That's why you were protecting me, huh? What a fool you are.
Foolish to act in line with what I value most? Were I to die, I would die knowing I followed my heart, my truest calling. I've been reading through more of that book I was telling you about. Recall the hypothetical question it posed? Do you carry out the orders or protect your hometown?
You've been reading that garbage again?
The book never specified that one should prioritize the commander's orders. Instead, it suggested that one should follow their heart in the matter. That's what a knight, that's what anyone being true to themselves should do.
That's just the editor's opinion.
Of course, and I find value in that opinion. Glenn died following his heart, not heeding the commands of the country or even the royal family. I will follow his example, no matter the outcome, no matter the circumstance. I believe in myself.
You know nothing.
What is it that you know then? What is it you fight for, Felix?
My own beliefs.
I see no difference from my own stance.
You don't understand.
You fight to be stronger than everyone, that you might protect those you care for, correct?
Okay, fine. You do understand. My point is, don't let this happen again. If you died, I'd be annoyed.
To avoid annoyance, then, I suggest you continue to grow stronger. If that happens, I might allow you to protect me too.
You're insufferable.
Oh, how I just love to clean the library room. Just takes a flash of light, and then it all goes boom. A flash, and then a big boom.
If you blow up the library, where will we put the books?
A flash, and then a big ah! What are you doing here, Felix?
I heard singing.
You were watching me again, weren't you?
Well, your skill is impressive, I'll admit.
Oh, today of all days. I knew I should have chosen a different song.
A different song? Like what?
Any of them. The box song, or maybe the dungeon song.
Now those sound interesting.
No, they're just regular songs. Forget it. While you're here, can you help me clean up? I need the books on that shelf up there, but I can't reach them.
Oh, sure, no problem. What? You're not going to sing anymore?
No way! It's too embarrassing. And that song isn't even finished anyway.
Ah, that's too bad. I wanted to hear what happened after the library was blown away.
Hey, don't look at me like that. Okay, fine. If you insist, I'll sing just a bit more. Oh, how I just love to clean the library room. Just takes a flash of light, and then it all goes boom. A flash, and then a big boom. Suddenly the deed is done. My, what a great job I did. Who says cleaning isn't fun?
Huh. That doesn't really explain what happened with the library. Maybe they'll build a new one?
Oh, this is so embarrassing.
This is why I keep telling people we need to keep her underground. The church records explain in full detail what a threat she poses to everyone's safety. It's a miracle that no one was hurt. Next time, we may not be so lucky.
What makes you so certain this incident was caused by her sighing? It seems unfair to cast blame until you're truly sure.
Isn't it obvious? A horde of monsters appeared out of nowhere and attacked us.
Uh-oh. You guys are talking about me, aren't you?
There you are. You won't get away with this crime. I'll make sure everyone knows who was to blame.
Hey, you didn't answer my question.
He doesn't care what we have to say. Forget about it.
No, you told me you had nothing to do with this. I can't just leave it alone.
Yes, you can. And you don't need to worry about it.
But I do. What if they pressured you into confessing something you hadn't actually done? They mean well, but they seem to think they have good reasons to suspect you. Those suspicions could lead to forceful questioning. They'll do anything to get to the bottom of this.
You're probably right. If he has his way, they'll do whatever they can to pin it on me. What about you? There isn't some part of you that agrees with that creep?
No. I know you don't sigh unless you absolutely can't help it. You would never endanger people like that unless something pushed you over the edge. I know this wasn't your fault. You said as much, and I believe you.
That's sweet. But unfortunately, your conviction isn't good for much on its own. We have no proof.
Then we'll find proof. If you didn't cause it, then something else did. We just have to find out what. I'll investigate the site where we were attacked. There could be a monster nest nearby.
You're so darn trusting, Freckles. For all you know, I could be lying.
Your commitment to honesty is as strong as mine. You'd never turn your back on our common bond.
You're just like the Luna Knight.
Hey, come on. I was being serious.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at you, I promise. I guess part of me was hoping to meet one of those storybook heroes. Now I finally have.
If that's how you feel, then I'm going to live up to it. I'll do my best to make sure you never sigh again.
Good day, Ignatz. So, painting again?
Ingrid. Yes, I'm painting St. Saros again.
Look, I'm really sorry about the last time. It's my fault it turned out so, well, different.
No need to apologize. I appreciated the fresh input. It made me think.
That's kind of you to say, but no need to pull punches.
It's the truth. I'm so caught up in my own mind, I'd never have thought to try that.
Ignatz, I appreciate your attitude, but...
Yes?
There are times when it's okay to feel upset or angry. If you're feeling that way, it's always best to be honest.
But...
I understand the weight of what I did. I besmirched a sacred image, and it was a painting you were pouring your heart into. I got carried away, but I'd prefer if you had told me then and there that my request was uncalled for.
I'm not angry. I could never get angry with you. I'm sorry.
Why are you apologizing? I'm the one apologizing.
Oh, sorry.
Stop saying sorry! Never mind. Forgive me. I came here to apologize, and now I'm being sharp with you.
Don't worry. It's my fault, really. I'm not very good at expressing myself.
I never intended to be such a bother. I think I'll leave you to it.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Hello, Marianne. You're well, I hope?
I am, Lawrence. Thank you.
I cannot help but notice you do not look it.
Is that so? I feel fine. Was there something you needed?
How unseemly of me. My apologies. It is not my intention to stare.
Does something about me seem off?
Oh, not at all. I was just remembering your father, or rather, comparing my experience of him to you. Your father, Margrave Edmund. He is one of the shrewdest nobles in all the Alliance, with a noted gift for pointed speech. On and beyond the battlefield, his words have the power to move friend and foe alike. My own father has said he would not want to make an enemy of him. Naturally, I am of the same mind. Your father is blessed with gifts of confidence and eloquence, yet compared to him, you seem always reticent and downcast. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cause you discomfort. It's just that the contrast between you and your father is striking.
I have very little in common with my adoptive father.
But he sent you to Garreg Mach. Clearly, he sees potential in you. I think I see it too. Yes, a certain charm, gravitas, if you will. Just like him. Oh.
I can't say that I know too much about him. I should be going now.
Yes, of course. Please, take care. Oh, such grace, such serenity. How could such a beauty be hiding in plain sight? With a little polish, she would shine magnificently.
Let me get this straight. The stars aren't moving, but the ground we stand on is?
Yep, we're on a big round thing that's always spinning. And that's why the stars seem to move through the sky. Hard to believe, isn't it? But it's true.
I admit I'm having a difficult time wrapping my head around it. How is it you know these things anyway? If you were a noble, it would make sense that you'd have a formal education on all of this.
In the village where I was born, there were people who studied the stars. They taught me.
A village of stargazing folk, huh? Do tell. I've never heard of such a place.
It's a very well-hidden village. It was a small settlement deep in the forest, where no one ever bothered us. I was born there, grew up there, but when I got older, I felt like I needed to see the world. I couldn't live my whole life in one place, you know? So I struck out on my own.
I always knew you were an odd little bird, but your birthplace makes you a rare little bird.
Yeah, well, pretty soon after leaving her nest, this rare little bird was put in a cage. I thought it might be some kind of punishment for leaving the forest.
What the hell? You think that because you wanted to live your life, you'd be punished? That's ridiculous. Look at this objectively. Was it punishment? Or was it just plain bad luck? There's nothing wrong with wanting to see the world and expand your horizons. Take me. Had I never left that gutter I call home, I'd have gone my whole life never learning how to look at the stars.
Yeah. I left my village because I thought I'd find a better life beyond the forest. Now, I'm not so sure.
Regret is pointless. What matters is how we live right here, right now. You know?
Yeah.
Do you ever want to return back home?
I could say no, but I'd be lying. I've been feeling homesick lately. Nothing happened there, for better or worse. There wasn't much to be scared of. Everyone said the outside world was dangerous, that beyond the forest, all we'd find was an early grave. That wasn't exactly true, but my life was for sure easier when I lived there. I used to spend my days fishing, hunting for pretty flowers, running around for no reason.
A rare occurrence indeed.
What is?
Seeing you smile in that way. You're always so, I don't know, neutral?
That's not true. I smile when there's something to smile about. It's strange, though. When I'm talking to you, I can't help but let my guard down. I don't like to discuss where I came from, but with you, I feel like I can open up. You know, I've been thinking a lot about my mom and dad lately. I wonder, are they even alive? I passed! I passed thanks to you, Professor.
have success!
Was there any doubt?
All that hard work's paid off.
Professor. Nice place, isn't it, Professor? Standing here, you can almost feel the goddess's absence. Discounting what dwells within you, of course. Do you think some punishment would rain down from the sky if this monastery were to be destroyed? Of course not. Even if the so-called Immaculate One came back here for revenge, that would only be a result of this war, not the work of a deity. If it is between love and hate, then I would choose the latter. The goddess failed to properly govern this world. That is why it is necessary for Lady Edelgard to become the supreme leader of Fodlan. Those with power must use it wisely. Is that not a teaching of the Church of Seros? It's absurd to preach to others what you cannot practice yourself. Yes. It is our humanity that pushes us to step up and take the lead should the need arise. That is not the case for inhuman creatures with lifespans well beyond our own. We must fight to preserve what makes us human. You are the one closest to the enemy. I wonder if you will be able to maintain your humanity to the end. You make it sound easy. I find myself trusting you, even with my life. I've already dedicated my life to Lady Edelgard. To throw my lot in with you is inconceivable. But if I had 2 lives to give, I might devote one of them to you. Not as master and servant, but as equal partners.
Okay. If you don't mind, I have a favor to ask.
Hello. The north side of the Great Bridge of Murden is in the territory of Acheron of the Alliance. He's known as the Weather Vane. He's a notoriously flippant man. A man like that doesn't have the guts to give it all for the defense of that bridge.
Professor. Ugh, I'm so sick of it all. There is so much to be done, yet all I encounter are new problems and pitfalls. Sometimes I wish I could spend just one day doing absolutely nothing and gorging myself on sweets. Do you mean it? Just the thought makes me happy. But Hubert would never allow it. Indeed. It may not be possible now, but one day we will know the joys of idling. Mark my words. Is that a smirk I spy? Is it so amusing to you, me daydreaming of free time? Your silly grin says otherwise. But let's put all that aside for now. There is something I've been meaning to tell you. I'm afraid this might sound a bit sentimental. However, I want to thank you. Because of you, I feel I can walk my fated path without losing myself. If I were alone, I might have lost perspective and become a harsh leader with a heart of ice. But I'm not alone. With you by my side, I'm somehow free to be not only a leader, but simply Edelgard. Until now, no one has been able to surpass me, much less command me. I have always been seen as an untouchable princess or emperor. No one spoke to me as an equal or met my gaze without flinching. It was lonely, terribly lonely. The only person I could rely on as I tried to claw my way out of the darkness was myself. But you have been a brilliant light. Somehow you have chased the darkness away. And for that, I will always be grateful.
Professor? Hey, Professor. It's been a really long time, hasn't it? The last 5 years have been full of heartbreak. Not from girls, but friends and family becoming enemies. One of the things that kept me going was the hope you'd return. And now here you are. A lot has changed, but you're back. And it's the first time I can remember being happy in a while.
Indeed. House Gloucester will remain staunchly neutral in this war, even if we press into Alliance territory. My father is no threat to the Empire. Lady Edelgard surely understands that. The Great Bridge of Myrddin, however, is another story. I hear it is held by Judith of House Daphne. She is renowned for her military prowess. We would do well not to underestimate her.
Professor?
I thought you might be at the monastery. That's why I made my way here. I decided to follow your path because I believed in you. But then you vanished. Now that you've returned, I have my guiding light once again. Welcome back, Professor.
Yeah. All right, I'm ready to fight. Let's do this. Leave it to me. I can take on the whole, most of the enemy's army. I know my limits now, Professor.
You've survived. How very fortunate. Were you dead, I wouldn't be able to fight you. But you are very much alive. Now I have a chance to kill you.
Edelgard is controlling the Empire. She is putting the pressure on the Kingdom in alliance. Empire and religion are at open war. It will be difficult for us at first. But corrupt nobles are many. That means the common people will rebel and be joining our side. With you, Professor, the battle tides will turn. I have certainty.
For 5 years, I've fought for the Empire. I've cut down hordes of enemies. Now I have the same look in my eyes that the boar used to have in his. The look of a savage beast who loves nothing but destruction and violence. I can hardly hold it against him anymore. You and Edelgard must not disappoint me. Mark my words. The future you're building had better be worth all this bloodshed.
Within the territories of the Alliance, the Gloucester and Daphne houses dominate the West. House Gloucester has always supported the Empire. There's not much chance of them defying us. So all that needs to be done to restore peace in the West now is to crush House Daphne.
The last 5 years have been difficult at times. My relationship with Edelgard is rather contentious, due to the incident with my father. Nevertheless, I cannot abandon my family's duties. As Duke Eyre, I must play my part in the Imperial Army. Edelgard intends to abolish the nobility, but I know I can dissuade her from doing so. My relation, nevertheless, as Duke Edelgard
A moment, please.
Okay.
Professor. Thanks for your help out there. Battles tend to go smoother with you around. I think you did most of the heavy lifting. It may be unwise to think this way on the battlefield, but I feel I can trust your commands without question. Not sure. I might have an idea, but never mind. I've also noticed that you've been putting me in more precarious situations lately. Almost like you know I won't question your orders. No need. I'm glad you trust me to get the job done, but still. I knew you were doing it on purpose. You're in a very important position now that you're leader of the Imperial Army. Funny to think you used to just teach at the Officers' Academy. Your old students still call you Professor. That's no title for the commander of an army. You'll always be their professor, huh? You sure are an interesting one. My people lost the war, and I was left to wander Fodlan alone. But I guess meeting you was my prize. You look confused. Did you not know any of this? I was living in my homeland of Dagda up until the Imperial Army destroyed it 10 years ago. But being a mercenary, I have no real allegiance. That's why I'm working here now. Don't worry, though. I don't plan to turn on you.
Right.
Definitely.
Hey, Professor. What have you been up to for 5 years? Hope you haven't gone soft. I got myself into perfect shape. Took all 5 years of pushing my muscles to the limit. But look! You bet I do! You gotta get training if you want to catch up.
What's that look on your face? Surprised to see me? I'm a mercenary. Always have been. Even when I was with the Knights of Seiros. I never was too attached to Fodlan. I was considering leaving soon, but I might change my mind if you're around.
Hello. Are we leaving for battle? I heard it's a long march. But it's fine. I've had plenty of time to stay inside lately, so I think it's time I went out. Yeah, I can do this. No more Bernie Bear. Yes, but, please don't put me up front, okay? Wow, thank you so much! Wow. Okay.
Hey there. Ah, a new face. I am Randolph von Bergles. I'm the guardian of this place. Wait a moment. I'm sure I've seen you somewhere before. Ah, yes! You're Her Majesty's professor. You're alive? Oh, this is my little sister, Fleisch. She's just a rookie, but she's helping me as my assistant.
Hello, I'm Fleisch von Bergles. It's nice to meet you. I know I'm inexperienced, but I'm gonna do my best. You can count on me to look after my big brother.
I've heard you're planning to march into Alliance territory. I'll be here to guard the fort.
Hi. There were clashes with the Kingdom Army near the Western Front, but this is the first time the Alliance Army has had an honest-to-goodness fight. I hear their leader's pretty competent, but the Alliance Army is pretty tough too.
No. Since the great nobles lost their standing, the regulation of the merchant houses has relaxed somewhat. You'd probably have thought that would make it easier for us to profit, but the world isn't so simple. The war has made the price of goods unstable, causing no end of hardship for the people.
Yes. His Highness, the new king, is in the process of unifying the kingdom under his command. His powerful army has joined forces with the Knights of Seiros, who moved their seat to Fargus. And now they're presenting a united front against the Imperial Army. They're our greatest enemy, absolutely. I don't relish the idea, but there's no turning back now. For now, we should focus our efforts on the Alliance. The Kingdom and Church can come afterwards. Judith, who defends the Great Bridge of Myrden, is a formidable opponent. We can't afford to drop our guard.
I need a favor.
At long last, we meet again. I knew you were alive,
I knew you could survive, and 5 years on, you arrive. We're reunited. I'm glad I kept watch for you in the downstream villages all that time. I was so devoted to finding you that I left the Knights of Seros. Now I serve no one other than you. I'll protect you, just as I promised Captain Gerald I would all those years ago.
Professor? Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. What's that? Do I have brothers in the church? You really are well informed. My older twin works for the Knights of Seros, but I think he's just a grunt, not a noble gatekeeper like yours truly. Unlike me, he's very devout. He left the Empire a long time ago.
Really now? There's unrest everywhere these days. All of my fellow merchants seem to be endangered. I hope things go back to normal soon. People need more to smile about, aside from my great deals. Hey, how about a favor? Appreciate it.
Hey, welcome. Come again.
Hey.
Welcome.
This one? Thank you. This one? Thank you. This one? Thank you. Please come again.
A moment. By making an enemy of the Church, disorder is running rampant among the populace. It's quieted down over these last 5 years, though. The well-being of Her Majesty is steadily improving.
Professor!
Take that!
Yes, I am in a hurry. Edelgard claims victory after victory. She never stops. 5 years ago, she ascended the throne and swept away the corrupt nobles, my father included. I always thought I would be the one to unseat him. But she did it instead, with all the ease and indifference of someone cracking an egg. Now, as the head of House Eyre, I serve Edelgard. I have to accept that I am her subordinate, working beneath her to reunify Fodlan. The disparity between Edelgard and myself is obvious. She never stops moving forward, single-minded, never wavering. But where does that leave me? Here, flailing about, going nowhere, contributing nothing. But it is. That is the reality. Not once since our days at the Academy have I exceeded Edelgard's abilities. I saw her as a worthy opponent. She did not even see me as a contender. She did not even consider me at all. As the head of the noble House Eyre, I must be able to achieve results. But all my efforts have come to nothing. Results are everything. I have not shown results, so I will be stagnating here forever. I appreciate your kind words, but you are wrong. I know that I have a massive wall to climb, and I must climb it alone. Even so, may I ask a favor? Professor, please keep an eye on my progress. I would appreciate if you were always by my side, bearing witness to my accomplishments.
I have good friends in both the Alliance and Fargus, so this fighting weighs heavily on me. I can't bear the thought of battling the Knights of Seros to the death. I have to keep my chin up though, right? Let's press on together, Professor. Did you find... Did you... Thank you. Oh my!
I'm relieved you're here, Professor. It seems we've reached a stalemate on the war front. I admit I'm feeling apprehensive about fighting the Alliance. I agree. It's time to shelve my personal feelings and focus on the bigger picture. I'll fight with full force. I'm counting on you to lead us to victory, Professor. For me,
I've been working here for a few years now. There are plenty of others working here too. Since the acolytes and students aren't here, it's up to us to pick up the slack.
I like this dish. It was...
This food is a...
Wise indeed to set me to this task. I'm an excellent cook. Maybe. This is hardly a palatable. Wow.
Hey, Marianne? Are you there?
Yes. Can I help you?
Do you have a minute?
Huh? Oh,
Then, if you don't mind, would you come with me for a moment?
So, did you need something from me?
Yes, indeed. I have an urgent request.
Have I done something?
Oh, no, it's nothing like that. Really, you don't have to worry. Would you close your eyes, please?
Then how will I know where I'm going?
Just take my hand. That's it. There, right there. Perfect. Now open your eyes.
Ah, the town is glowing from the sunset.
Yes. Isn't it beautiful?
Very much so.
I was looking at it earlier and I thought to myself, I have to show Marianne.
But why me?
Because you're always looking at your shoes. You never get a chance to appreciate the scenery.
Oh,
See, the best thing about the scenery is, it's always changing. With the weather, the time of day, the season. So every view is unique, never to be repeated. If no one sees it, it's lost.
You could have just enjoyed it on your own.
I wanted to share this beautiful landscape with you.
Thank you. I'm
not sure what to say.
Hey, that's okay. I won't try to express this beauty in words either. Just look and remember. This will make for a nice memory. And maybe remember that I was here too.
I will. I really will.
Boo! Right. My father used to be a knight in service of the royal family of Fargus. For a time, he was at the monastery. But apparently, he's back in Fargus serving as a knight again. Which means, if I fight with this army, I'll eventually have to face my own father. Terribly. But I've accepted my fate. I'm ready for anything. Of course, if at all possible, I would prefer not to fight my father. This is the path I chose. I have no regrets.
Professor! Oh my, it's so good to see you. These days, so many old friends seem to be disappearing. But you're here. It's incredible to see you again after 5 years. I have a feeling your name will go down in history. I'll keep my voice down. Don't want people thinking I'm vying for attention. But how loud is too loud?
Singing is so much fun. Everyone should enjoy themselves while they're doing it.
Who? Me? After the battle 5 years ago, the Imperial Army occupied Garreg Mach. The cathedral and several other buildings were destroyed, but we've done some repair work here and there, and we're using the buildings as a base of operations. As for me, well, the church moved its headquarters to Fargus, and I've seen no reason to follow. When I returned to Enbar, I received a summons from Her Majesty, and I chose to answer.
Since you came back, everyone's been smiling. Just you being here makes an incredible difference. I can't express how reassuring it is to see you.
Need something? This one? You're all set. 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 See you again soon.
No.
Professor! Do you have a minute, Professor? I gotta talk to you. I've been thinking a lot about those brigands with the scorpion tattoos, and I realized something. I mean, I'll feel better if I get this off my chest, right? Okay, listen. I can't deny who I am. I know you were right 5 years ago when you told me not to chase after that suspicious guy. But I still can't get over the possibility that he might have hurt those kids. I would have regretted not stopping him for the rest of my life. There's no way I could forgive myself. It sounds awful to say, but the safety of those kids is more important to me than the knights we lost. I'm sorry, Professor, but I can't promise that I won't disobey your orders in the future. I know. It's too big a risk to keep me around. I won't cause a fuss. I'll just pack my bags and... Wait, what? I guess so. You're really okay with me sticking around? Even if I might not always follow orders? People could get hurt if you let me keep doing things my way. Just like that? I almost can't believe it. I really struggled to come to this decision, you know? I want to stand by your side, but I won't stop standing up for what I believe in. I know I might cause trouble for everyone, but I just... You know, I give up. I've got nothing else to say. I should have just kept my mouth shut. Yeah, I know. Thanks, Professor. Thanks for accepting me for who I am. I'm glad I get to keep fighting by your side.
My adoptive father sent me here so our family name would be known. He doesn't care which side wins, the Empire or the Alliance. However, even if he tells me to come home, I intend to stay. I want to see this new world Edelgard dreams of.
Professor, I'm sorry to have dragged you into the fight again so soon after our reunion, but you appeared at a most opportune time. I'm truly humbled by your support, my teacher. Thank you. You may be worried, but you shouldn't be. You always manage to pull through. Make sure you're ready to head out, okay?
Allow me to brief you on the details of our situation. The Empire firmly controls the western portion of Fargus. However, the central and eastern regions continue to put up heavy resistance. The strongholds in these regions are Arianrode, the fortress city, and Ferdiad, the kingdom capital. We cannot control Fargus until we have taken both of these cities. As for the Alliance, Houses Gloucester and Ordelia seem predisposed to capitulate to us. However, due to interference from Houses Regan and Goneril, we have yet to secure their cooperation. Claude obviously hopes to keep the Alliance whole through diplomacy. But because we have had to focus our efforts against the Church until now, our forces have yet to meet his. We have only recently begun to take the fight to Alliance territory. I have a request for you. Well done, Professor. Thank you.
Well... Hello. Professor, do you know how happy I was to hear you were still alive? I'll tell you how happy. For the past 2 days, I haven't had my morning or my afternoon naps. Yes?
You finally joined us, have you?
I attached myself to the Imperial Army as well. Seemed the thing to do. I feel I owe it to Edelgard to set my past feelings about the Empire aside. I am happy to help her. It's strange, isn't it? After 5 years, the 3 professors are together once more. I am most curious, though. You say you were asleep for 5 whole years. Incredible. Perhaps this is another effect of your crest. I do look forward to investigating you in greater detail. Wonderful news. I am most excited to begin. We must find the time, of course. Oh, thank you. Oh.
I'm so glad to see you're all right. I really regretted not being able to keep the promise I made to my mentor. Captain Gerald told me that if anything should happen to him, then I should stick by you. I'm going to do just what he asked. I'll be right here to support you from now on.
Professor!
Hello, Professor. What brings you here? Fancy a bit of fishing? You know, I can hardly go fishing without thinking of old Gerald. He and I would just sit here, casting our lines again and again. I'm no better at it now than I was then. Not a single nibble. Just like your father. You know all the tricks of the fisherman's trade. I was hopeless at it, but he was a master. In the time it took me to catch one fish, he could fill his basket to the brim. You know, talking to you, I'm feeling very nostalgic. Why don't you join me? We can trade some stories about the old man. We spoke before about how Gerald never seemed to age, right? Once, when he was drunk, he let the secret slip. He said he'd had an infusion of crest-bearing blood, and it had greatly extended his life. Well, we'd both been drinking. I figured he was joking, so I just laughed it off. Then I asked him his age. He said he'd stopped counting after he hit 100. And he was telling the truth. In those 20 years he was away, he didn't age a bit. An incredible person, to be sure. And I probably don't know the half of it. Actually, I'd like to ask you something about Gerald, if you don't mind. When Gerald was away from the monastery, what was he like? In other words, he was exactly the same. When he was with the Knights, he always found time to go fishing. He was hooked on it, you might say. He'd say there was no greater pleasure in life than sinking his teeth into a fish he'd caught and washing it down with a drink. I have to say, right now, fishing with you, it really takes me back. This feels just like the good old days, when Gerald was sitting alongside me.
Definitely.
Dear Goddess, I ask for guidance.
Professor, you're always watching over me, aren't you? I've spent my entire life avoiding people. Speaking to others was so difficult for me, so I made a point to always be alone. Animals and the goddess were the only ones I could really open up to. Do you remember the time you asked what it was I prayed for? Yes, but that wasn't the case. Back then, I felt that my life served no purpose and that I was nothing more than a burden. In truth, I was begging the goddess to take me to her. That was my daily prayer. But now I fear the idea of dying and being left alone. I have friends who accept me for who I am now, in spite of my crest. And I have you watching over me. I finally learned to accept the kindness and warmth of others. It's because of you, Professor. Because of you, I've decided to live. I'm sorry to have worried you, but I'm all right now. Even if I'm separated from you or any of my friends, the memories I've made here will give me the strength to continue on. Oh, I'm sure I'll have the strength to move forward if we're together.
Hello.
I see your food preferences are the same as they ever were.
You haven't changed at all, either.
I've eaten many meals in my time.
Oh, it's...
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks so
Professor! Hey you, listen up. I've got something to report. It's you. You're still alive. It's been 5 whole years, hasn't it? Time flies when you're standing guard. That's right, I've been here the whole time. Day in and day out. Not like I have anywhere else to be. The Imperial Army hasn't interfered with us all that much, so it's business as usual here in Abyss. I mean, as usual as it gets here anyhow.
Oh no. A lot of folks cleared out once the fighting started. People are saying it was the church that used to keep order around here. But it's Yuri who's saving us from complete chaos.
Professor!
It is you, isn't it? I kinda forgot what you looked like. I didn't mean any harm. It's just that so much has happened. It's hard to keep track, you know? Anyway, you came back, and that's what matters. Staying here wasn't a mistake. I can say that much.
Abyss is okay. The Burt kept it safe out of the goodness of his heart. Kidding, of course. He said the lowlifes here could be useful, because they won't mind fighting dirty, or rooting out spies. Or something along those lines. I didn't pay much attention to that part. You don't know the half of it. It's all I can do to stop myself from whooping with joy. I could use your help. I used to be a rather important person in the church, but I am in exile for committing a crime. I embezzled some money, but it wasn't out of greed. My hometown was pillaged, you see, and the church wasn't putting in enough to rebuild. Why, hello there. Come back soon now. Chatterbox, thanks for giving me a hand. Why, hello there. If it is your wish. Everything is within your grasp. Come back soon now. Why, hello there. If it is your wish. Everything is within your grasp. Come back soon now.
If you haven't heard, we'll soon be launching a full-scale assault on the Alliance. Her Majesty has searched relentlessly for you. Now that you're found, her moment has come. I think not. You were, it sounded to me, crucial to her plans. The stalemate we've been locked in shall give way very abruptly. We have your reappearance to thank for that.
Hey, pal. You've got a lot of nerve coming here after ignoring us for 5 years. Ha! Gotcha! All this time and you still can't take a joke, can you? Good job surviving and clawing your way back to us. This day couldn't get better if it tried. Say, now that you're back, we should celebrate with some liquid gold. We're not your students anymore, so it should be fine, yeah? Oh, I like this idea. We'll make it a wild party. Even the Emperor won't be able to turn it down.
I never imagined I'd see you again.
Indeed.
Emil, I've missed you so much. How long has it been since we last spoke?
Since you left House Bartels, I was 8.
And just look at you now, all grown up. I notice that you still indulge in sweets. It makes me happy to see that you're still the same in some ways.
It has been some time since I've tasted such a thing.
Well, of course. That's because this is a recipe only Mother and I know of. Oh no, You've gotten crumbs all over your face. Sit still while I wipe them off.
Stop it.
Oh, come on. Allow me to be your big sis. It won't hurt you to indulge me.
Mercedes, the little brother you once loved, he is no longer here.
It doesn't matter to me how you've changed. You will always be my baby brother. You are precious to both me and to Mother.
Mother is well, I assume.
She is very well. You should send her a letter. She'd be so thrilled.
I suppose.
Mother has always borne a deep regret over what happened. We should have brought you with us. We never intended to leave you alone with House Bartels.
Perhaps not. But it was wise of Mother to have only taken you. As the heir, if she had taken me, Father would have searched relentlessly for us all. And had he found us, I feel certain he'd have killed you both.
Yes, that's what Mother said too. He'd have done exactly that. You know, I've heard about what happened. About killing the family of House Bartels.
And? Are you afraid of me? Or do you despise me?
Neither of those. That isn't why I bring this up. I understand your reasons, but it's a terrible thing to take a life. You understood that even then. I've been waiting a very long time to ask you. Why did you do it? Why did you kill your father?
Because I wanted to.
I know you're avoiding my question. I can hear it in your voice. I won't ask any further if you don't want to tell me why. But just let me know if you ever feel ready to talk to me about it.
Understood. The time may eventually come.
Until then, I'll wait patiently.
Hey, shady lady. I see you're working into the wee hours.
I have asked you before not to refer to me that way.
Right, whatever, sorry. Anyway, what kind of bizarre spells are you weaving?
An excellent question. It's a brand of spellcraft many have dreamed of, but none have achieved. A revolution in magical theory.
Revolutionary spellwork, huh?
Steel yourself for this. The working transforms leather boots into licorice! The old serviceable shape with a new, sweeter taste.
Huh. That's certainly something. I'm sure you'll ravage the economy with this one. So, why boots precisely?
I was inspired by your suggestion that licking the nobility's boots would fulfill my dream. I went to my chambers to discreetly taste my own boots. They were less appetizing than I had hoped. The thought of licking boots day in and day out was revolting, but then I thought, what if? Tonguing licorice boots rather than leather ones would make the whole ordeal much more palatable. This is no run-of-the-mill penny ante black magic. This is something new. Black licorice magic. I could lick the boots of 100 nobles if they all tasted so scrumptious as licorice.
Are you some kind of damn fool?
The common mind often has difficulty distinguishing between genius and idiocy. You set me the challenge of licking boots, and I would say that I have risen to it ably.
Correct. I told you to do that. But I think you took what I said just a bit too literally.
Then how did you mean it? Does the licking not count if the liquor enjoys it?
It's mostly something you do by way of acting subservient. I'd even lick the mud from your boots, my lord. Get it?
What? Are there nobles so depraved that they would take satisfaction in such a thing?
There sure are. I've licked a boot or three in my day.
Indeed? Oh, did it not turn your stomach?
Well, of course it did. There's hardly any dignity in bootlicking. Talking to you is truly entertaining. You're a special kind of strange. I've known many a noble in my life, but none like you. I was just dealing with a bunch of them, so the difference seems especially stark. Though, I guess you're not technically a noble at this point, are you?
You were dealing with nobles in the dead of night? Wait, what? Did you just call me strange?
Oof, I'm exhausted. Better go hit the sack. Don't work too hard, milady.
I did not give you leave to go! Ugh, his rudeness knows no bounds. But I'll have my revenge, perhaps by exposing his business with these nobles. He'll rue the day he loosened his tongue in front of me.